back to our course. So in the last class, last video, we have discussed about the create transaction, right? We have implemented our create transaction page. We have set up our transaction provider, right? We have set up how to get the transactions, how to store, how to, okay, we have handled all the things. In today's, we'll discuss about categories. So firstly, we have some sample categories, right? Here, sample. Yeah, so in utils I have set it this sample. We have some sample categories or sample budget data, right? So we'll use this, we'll add all these categories in our when the DB is created, okay? Because we want these categories in our DB, so we can just map these with transactions and we can use them anywhere we want to, okay? To avoid using this type of data, these sample data, right? We need to provide some basic pre-filled already defined categories, so that is easy to user, that is easy for users, right? Like some predefined categories, so you can select its transaction category, transaction type, right? So what we will do, we'll add transaction in onCreate method. We have a add category method here, but we can't use it because whenever we just trigger this statement, so it will just stuck in loop. Okay, it doesn't, it just whenever we suppose if we are running any loop, right? We are adding the whole list in DB, so it repeatedly triggering this method and it may lead to issues. So here we have DB, right? We'll create our first of all batch because we have to add multiple transactions here, right? So we'll create a db.batch. After that, we'll write here for where e in sample budget data, and we'll add all these transactions in add all these categories in our db, right? Batch dot insert, copy paste dot categories uh table names, uh yeah, e database table names dot category table dot name dot e dot to, okay, e, okay. Also I'll remove here id because we don't mean, because id will be auto incremented, right? We have primary key which is auto be incremented, so we'll not add id. Okay, so we'll have a batch dot insert, and whenever it completes, we'll have a await batch dot commit. But this is a final variable, so I think it may, okay, it will not, okay, we have just, okay, so it will not, I guess, create any issue. Hope so it will not. Okay, so let's run the app and check whether it's working or not. Yeah. So we got that we don't have any transaction in our database, right? So now what we can do is here we can now create our one provider here for category, right? So I'll create a new file category provider dot. Okay, and I'll create one more category state. Okay, so we'll create our freeze class here firstly category state. Okay, and I'll create here enum e category state initial ready success error or loading. Okay, so now we will just okay, and also initial, and we don't have anything here, we are not creating any JSON, right? So we'll remove this JSON part also. We'll just write here category state, right? Now here we will add our variables. We'll add at default we have e category state dot initial and e copy and just paste dot sorry, e category state. We have some for message, right? Let me check what other we need. Yeah, so we have a like, yeah, so we have a budget period also we'll define here at default. Okay, we don't have budget periods selected budget period. Okay, it will have a controller, right? So I guess, yeah, and last but not least we have an empty um, list of our category model categories. Okay, now we will create here class uh, category provider which extends our the board part category provider dot and we will have a override. We will have a category state build method. We'll use the same methods we use in transaction provider. We'll define our, yeah, copy fix import category. Okay, make sure we don't have any transaction related thing anything here. Okay, if we have any selected category, right? So after that we are left with our initiate methods, and let me just copy them. We don't have a date parameter, we have amount only. Let me check. Category, we have create category body, and then we have a category name we have defined. Category name, yeah, we have defined category name. Then we have some budget, category budget, category budget. Then we have a budget period is of course will state in yeah. So this is only two three things we have. Category name, we have category amount, category name I have added, category budget we have added, category period, yeah. So we are ready with it, and yeah, now we can run our, I guess we have home body, right? So what I'll do is here I'll just have a list view. Let me firstly just make it as consumer widget. Okay, consumer widget, and this will have a widget reference as reference. Final provider is equal to reference dot um provider. Yeah. So now we will have a okay, and now we will have a home body. We have to take, we have to just add a listener as well, right? So let me just copy the code from here. Yeah, so now we have to add the same conditions. Okay, same conditions as we have added above. Let me just um, copy it, and I guess I have to add listener also. So let me just copy and I'll just paste it here. Same thing I have added. Okay, category state, category provider, e category state, e category state. Okay, now let me just open this category provider. Yeah, so here let me create one future void get categories asynchronous, and now we'll just state dot copy with loading final result is equal to await dot get categories. Okay, result dot fold, we have to just l, and we have to just put one right. So also I'll create one set to initial state, which make our state called initial state dot copy with message as null. Okay, copy and just paste. And we have to just copy, just paste, error l, copy and just paste, success, and we have categories as r. So now we'll just use this get categories. Now we have to just copy the same code we have added here. Copy categories. Copy and just paste. Why it is throwing? Okay, okay, okay. Okay, one bracket can create lots of issues. Hmm. Okay, shrink wrap, and also I'll make it never scrollable. Okay, so we'll have only one scroll here. Return will have a list style, and we can just take reference from it. Mm, copy, uh, paste, categories, copy and just paste. Let me take some help here. We have title and we have some budget. Okay, category name. So if we add a duration, like suppose a user has added a budget for 3 months, so we have to make sure that we are making it from current date to last date, right? We have to store one current date also, like which date it is setting that budget, right? Hmm. Okay, so we'll just modify code. Okay, we'll just modify our code. Database file, we have a mm, we have a text which name as budget date, like which date the user has added that budget, right? Budget set date. Okay, and same I'll creating with our category model also, right? We'll have a string with this. Okay, and if we have any amount also, we can just will showing this as an empty string because it can be null. That's fine. We have a trailing here, right? Let me just take a reference from it. We have a trailing, right? But okay, let me just copy it and budget amount. Copy. Okay, we don't have to do much. We'll just mm, okay, and we can set a budget can be of black color, right? So we don't have to add any color for it. So now we can just we have added all the things. Now we can just run this. So no transactions found, and let me show. Okay, so it is looking very good. Like actually it is very good, but But there is one issue here because see if and item dot duration is not equal to null, then we'll show some text here because we have to show here, right? Like at till which for how many periods, like how many days, months, or how many um we have set it. We can show it like dot budget set data and item duration is not equal to null. So we can show it like this. Um, Date with but we have to, if user is setting up the budget, then user will have an option for okay how many duration, weekly, monthly, okay. uh hmm, Remove here and add it here. Now suppose a user is set the budget, so we'll assume that user has set the budget for 1 week, 1 month, 1 quarter, or 1 year, right? Or we can give the user an option for uh, duration will be like number, right? How many years, month, or right, and we can give one more as budget period. Okay, will giving this option because user should be able to add the feature, like if user wants to add a budget for 1 week, 2 week, 3 weeks, right? So we are adding this thing also. So let me just add it in our SQL also. Database table queries, and I'll add here one integer. So what we will do here, we can just and item dot budget set date we have done, duration we have done, budget period is not equal to null. Okay, then we'll just set this budget is set on for item dot item dot duration Now we have to calculate here for budget period, right? So I'll creating one um, static string get display name, get display a name for budget period. Okay, and we'll just pass here budget periods, budget period, and we can just pass switch budget period, add missing switch cases. Okay, so we'll return it. Yeah, copy month, or we can just like this we can show copy quarters, and at last yeah, utility dot item dot budget period. Okay, so we'll get integer. Okay. 1 2 3 0 1 2 3 4. Okay, paste. What's the issue now? I'm not understanding. Mightly, it should not happen, right? I have added. Okay, return. Need one return. Get display name. I'm sure that it will not be null. That's why I just passed here. Okay, so we'll have this, and now I'll have to change it here also. Uh, Let me just. Okay, I didn't. We have to make it. Okay, we'll do this in the next video, right? So now we have just shown here. In the next video, we'll learn about how to create categories. Okay, and we'll check how are the displays displaying here, right? Um, I guess it's enough, right? Whenever we set any budget, we'll show some pie chart here also. Here, here we used to show our transaction income, and here we have a categories list.